Hey, hey, Psoriasis Healing Warriors. Matt here. How are you doing? Hope you're going into a nice, relaxing, and healing weekend, and hopefully your week went well. I uh, I just had a really awesome conversation in Psoriasis Healing Warriors group with Joel and Jamie stopped by, but really awesome talk with Joel. He and I are on the same page and share a lot of the same in our practices and if you're not already in the group, go put a join request in for Psoriasis Healing Warriors and check out the video. It's saved in there now as a post, so you can watch it anytime. It's a couple hours long, so you might have to take it in sections, but it was an awesome talk. But I'm doing well. I am feeling great. I had just got back from a awesome camping adventure. Just my dog and my car and I and lots of bugs. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I drove out to Texas. I spent about a month with my brother, and then I drove from there through North Texas into New Mexico and on to Colorado. Spent a lot of time in the Rockies mountains and just beautiful places. It was really great time. I got a lot of sunlight, and I'm going to talk about that today. The just sheer and utter importance of sunlight and staying naturally exposed to the sun as much as possible. So that was a beautiful part of my trip. So just being in the sun all day. I had the sun exposed on my neck. I wasn't wearing a shirt a lot, so I was getting a lot of sun, a lot of square inches of my body that don't see it as much these days. And it's just utterly powerful. UV, the red light of the sun when it's in the morning and the evening. Powerful healing, the sun, the fire, the fourth element. So I got a lot of awesome sun exposure on my camping adventure outdoors, and yeah, I got into Colorado, and then I drove back from Colorado to Florida, like a southeasterly route through the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas and beautiful parts of Alabama. So very refreshed after my trip, and now that I'm back in the home office, I actually on my trip while I was out in nature, I filmed a lot of beautiful footage that I'm going to be sharing with you all. I did some discussions out there and did a lot of journaling, uh, some reading, and but the journaling was nice. Get some things written down and get some thoughts fully to the end of the line, and then put in more detail there. But I'll be sharing those the film and a lot of beautiful nature videography and to share as well. So I'm back in the home office, and I want to get a regular routine of live get-togethers, live video sessions. If you're stopping by, please drop a comment right now. Say hi. Tell me where you are physically, mentally, emotionally, geographically, psychographically. Tell me where you are, and we can use these as an opportunity to actually hang out and do some live question and answer, and or just say hi. And I will focus today on some my most important foods that I try to eat every day. I'm going to share those, so like a top 10 or so foods. And then I'm going to share my morning routine, just talk about that a little bit. And then I'll open up some question and answer if anybody wants to drop some questions in. I do have a question I want to reach in from the group about how to calm down a big psoriasis flare or outbreak, when it's getting really hot or when it's spreading or getting red and angry. What do I do to calm it down? We'll discuss that. So, as always, if you know me, number one is water. I have a stainless steel, it's a Yeti cup, glass bottle or BPA free plastic bottle or stainless steel bottle, and a filtered water source. You see mine over my shoulder there, my water. Ooh, there it is. And it's always close by. And I start my morning off with a about a quart or liter of lemon water. So water with squeeze the whole lemon in. And I use a citrus squeezer. It's really convenient. It keeps the seeds from getting in there, and it gets all the juice out of the lemon. So you can get yourself one of those. You just cut the two ends off the lemon, cut it in half, and then squirt it. Use it to squish it all of it down in there. So lemon water is always number one. Water in general, pure water source with some electrolytes in it to get the systems moving. Water keeps the vehicle moving. Water is the substrate of all life. It's the ultimate solvent. It's the source of all life. It's the second element. And that's what you'll kind of hear as a theme from me these days is the five elements, right? Air, water, earth, fire, and love. So that's usually always when I get up. I mean, I'm still half-ass asleep, and I just get my canteen, as I call it, go fill it up with some water, squeeze that lemon in, and I start to drink water, and I go into breath work. The first element, air. Basic breath work. Take advantage of the most powerful physiological tool that you have to bring your body to balance and homeostasis. That's the power of your breath, the air, bringing the air in. When you breathe in, it gets you up, gets you going, brings more clarity to the mind, rushes oxygen to your brain, gets you ready to do things, gets you ready to say things, gets you ready to think clearly. As you exhale, it brings you to a deep state of relaxation, brings you to a cleansing point, it squeezes a lot of the lymphatic system, which is how toxins come out of the body, through sweat glands, through urine, through poop, through the eyeballs, through any hole you got. And for us with psoriasis, it comes through the lesions too. So the full inhale, so if you want to over inhale, is to get more active, to get awake, to bring your body awake. So in the morning, I'll do some breath work after as I'm drinking that liter of lemon water. And maybe I'll sit with my legs crossed, or I'll go into some stretching. So this is a couple of good stretches I'll do right now, show you. Okay, so we're just going to clasp the hands like this, clasp them together. We're going to drop them down so that our chest starts to flex a little bit. Now we're going to squeeze the muscles of your core, your abdomen, and down into your butt. Squeeze your butt and flex it. Now exhale air. We're going to bring the arms up, and we're going to do a full inhale. Keep going up. Running into the fan here. Stretch up. Push your butt and your hips out forward. Let your back decompress and breathe in. And now exhale. Take the arms out to the sides. You might feel a lot of air popping in your shoulders. That's good. That's opening those lymph nodes. Air all the way out. Squeeze now. Okay. So we're going to come up, flex, and expand. Feel good stretch running down your sides. Now release your air, relax the muscles. Pop, 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 pop. It's good to hear the pops. Roll your shoulders, take a breath. Clasp the arms behind your back. Exhale. Now as you inhale, bring the arms up and bring your body down. Try to kiss your knees. Let the arms hang freely behind you. We'll stretch the shoulders. Exhale. Now inhale. Pull your back backwards. Feel your chest stretch. Exhale. Hold your arms back here. Drop your head forward. You can roll it. Get your neck going. Okay. Go side to side. We're breathing in. So that's now getting the body loose and elastic. Getting the lymphatic system pumping from your fingers to your toes to your kidneys and out. Everything goes to the kidneys for filtering. The kidneys filter the lymph fluid. The lymph fluid has all the toxins that some cells dump in. Clasp those hands. Breathe in and arms up. Stretch it out. Now relax, exhale. So that's an example of breath work with some stretching. I have about 10, here, I don't think I need those on. I have about 10 more of those stretches I do in my Qigong series, brocades of Qigong. And those I will do a full session on. That was just a little preview there. I'll do a full session on those in another video. Maybe next Friday I'll focus on that. So these videos I'm going to try to stick with every Friday. I'll be doing a video in the group, in the Facebook group. That's where we're going to be doing a room. And you can feel free to jump in there and co-host with me. And we can have a conversation that will help thousands of other warriors. And you know, if a few people want to jump on that room chat in the group, I'll do those first, and then I'll jump over here and do a discussion. And these are open discussion too. So if you want to drop a comment in and just say hi or drop a question in, then I'll focus on that. And I do have a question from the group. And this is, let's see here, try to not get too lost. And it's just mentioning that I want to try and get their name. Where is that post? Probably up here. Scrolling down. From Joseph Jacob Patel, and he mentions the worst flare-up I've had in 3 years. Skin constantly feels like it's on fire. Any recommendations on how to calm it down? So, first recommendation is, as always, make sure that your water flow is good. Make sure that you can chill your water too. But make sure that you're bringing in consistent water. A cool down drink is coconut water, raw coconut water with no sugars added. Chilled, put it in the fridge, keep them cold. And that's my afternoon drink. Florida is very hot where I live. And if my skin is going through an outbreak or what I call a healing crisis cycle, then it gets really hot really fast. It's also very humid here, so I sweat here a lot, which of course can irritate the symptoms. But coconut water is my afternoon drink. I have a 16-ounce coconut water. I like the brand, the CO2 brand, or I get it from the Sprouts, the grocery store. I get their brand. It's just a raw coconut water that's not been processed and unfiltered, not been cooked. So cold and raw. And that will cool the body down and provides the liver with a lot of electrolytes to make the chemical reactions it needs to work through what you're going through. Now, if you're in a healing mode, if you're rocking your natural healing practice, you're going to be going through a lot of these heat streaks. They're hot crises of healing. As soon as toxins start to go into your lymph system for elimination, the symptoms can spread out and can run all over the body and can feel really hot and very uncomfortable. So bringing in cooling water, cool, chilled coconut water, doing some of the breath work we just did there, taking in some deep, cool breaths through the nose. Do a double inhale. Exhale it all out. Calm down your endocrine system, your adrenal glands, because that's going to make your body hotter as well. You don't want to be in fear. You don't want to be in fight or flight. That will all heat you up. So do some cooling breaths. Another thing you can do if you're up for it is a cold shower. That will cool the body down very quickly and will bring you into a balanced state. Or a cool bath. That leads me into what I would do next is a bath. When my skin is breaking hard and having an outbreak, I'll do more baths than I usually do. And that can be warm water. It doesn't have to be hot. Just warm water. I will add some Himalayan pink salt, some borax powder, which is just boron. It's a mineral. It's all it is. It's just a mineral powder. It's marketed as a laundry detergent, but it's just borax is just 4 borons. And add that to the water. That neutralizes the chlorine in the water and the cleaning agents they use. It's a water softener. It's also an antifungal. It's very good against fungus. So borax is good at keeping your skin clean, keeping the psoriasis lesions clean, and helping the body eliminate on point in the acute area. So some borax, some pink salt. I'll put some coconut oil in the bath water. Coconut oil greases the bath water up. It's very nice on your skin. It helps you get some of the scaling off, which creates heat. When the dead skin collects on top, it traps more heat in the body. So taking baths to stay in front of the symptoms, to keep the plaques soft and to keep the dead skin off, really puts the warrior in a powerful place. When you get in front of the symptoms, it's much easier to be level-headed. It's much easier to stay away from the peaks and valleys, mountain tops and base valleys that you fall into emotionally, physically, and mentally. So, and then I put some lavender essential oil drops, some lavender drops in my bath water, and, about 20 drops or so. Put on some energy music or some nice instrumental music that can calm you down, some sounds of nature. One of my favorite artists, his name is East Forest, and he has wonderful music that's available on Spotify and through his channels. I'll put on some energy music, something calming. Obviously low lights. Lights in general. Anytime you can reduce white lighting in your life, it's gonna calm you down. It's gonna reduce stress. It's gonna put you in a better place, a more peaceful place, especially at night, especially after the sun has gone down. Keep lights low if possible. When I go into the bath, I keep the lights low, and it helps to ease and cool me down. So having a nice bath, listening to some energy music, throwing in some pink salt, some coconut oil, a little bit of lavender, essential oil drops, some borax. If you want to add some more stuff to your bath, go right ahead. And the bath is another great place to do some breath work and to be gentle on yourself. I like to run my fingers up and down my skin and up and down my body in the bath, and I use a rag and I gently remove the dead scales, over a little period of time. And but I spend about an hour and a half sometimes in the bath. If I'm listening to a great podcast, it'll keep me in there. The bath is where I like to listen to podcasts too. Sometimes I'll be in the mood to be, my attention is nice and isolated on the conversation, and I can get through a whole talk. So that's a nice thing and you're in the bath too. But the bath is a great way to calm down a major psoriasis flare, major outbreak. I also use organic castor oil. I use it on my legs mainly. I use it on my legs. I'll wrap my legs, which are kind of my major trouble areas, full coverage, from my knee to my ankle. And so I will put a good amount of castor oil on my legs and then I'll wrap them in plastic wrap. And that's not ideal, but the plastic wrap does keep the oil in and keeps it where it's supposed to be, because castor oil is very thick and so it'll get all over yourself. So I'll wrap my legs and I'll leave the wrap on for a couple hours and before bath, so I'll have the wraps on an hour or two, maybe. That really softens the plaque, and then in the bath, the dead skin comes off really, really thoroughly without having to do a lot of rubbing, which irritates the skin, and that cools my legs down. So I do, and then after the bath for a good period of time, my legs are soft and they're flexible and they're not tearing. And so the castor oil treatments will cool you down too. So the castor oil treatment, and then putting yourself in the bath for a while. Also, things to cool you down is to take a walk if possible. If it's a hot day, take a walk in the shade, but get the heat moving and get it out of the body. We can't keep the heat trapped. We can't keep anything trapped in ourselves. We can't contract. We can't trap the fear in ourselves. We can't trap these toxins. Everything needs to come out. That's the only way we're going to get much better and get psoriasis out of our lives. The chronic, awful plaque psoriasis. And to reduce that inflammation, which reduces the plaquing on the skin, is we have to eliminate. And as I've going to keep saying over and over, our lymph system, which is our sewer system, it pumps based on our movement. That's a genetic engineering. We humans, we are movers and shakers and travelers and hunters and we're just movers. We're built to move. Our feet are strong. Our hands are strong. Our muscles can go and go and go when we train them and when we actually use them. And we are built to move. So you're not going to heal psoriasis sitting. We have to sit for work, and we already do a lot of sitting. So your healing practice and your cooling practice needs to be built around movement. Okay? That's one of the pillars of healing is movement. There's 4 pillars: movement, sleep, diet, and connection. Those are the physical pillars. The biological pillars: movement, exercise, stretching, like we did at the beginning of this video, breath work, contracting your core, squeezing your core muscles and breathing in. Just feel how challenging that is. Hold your core. Now release the muscles, relax, and release the breath all the way out until you're empty. Until you're completely empty. Now fill the body with fresh oxygen and release and relax the core. It's all that kind of movement. And the body, so our healing practice needs to be based on movement, not just exercise. Like, I got to hit the gym. I'm not talking about gyms. I don't go to gyms. I don't use barbells and dumbbells, and I'm not worried about how much I can bench press. This is about using the body as resistance. That's how I exercise and work out. I'll share a lot of videos of my specific workouts that you can follow. But in a nutshell, my workouts are body resistance and bands. I use bands. I use a stability ball, like a big beach ball, and I use one of those half balls that you fill up, and one half is a hard, flat surface, the other half is the ball, and I do exercises on that. I balance on the ball with one leg. Very challenging stuff that you can do in your bedroom. No excuses for missing workouts to heal psoriasis, because you can do them in your hotel room, your bedroom. I did them while I was camping for 2 months outside. Body resistance, like holding a push-up position is another one. Just holding a push-up position with your butt up in the air and doing the breath work while you're holding a pull-up position. You try that out. Try and hold a pull-up position for 1 minute while you're doing, say, 7 deep breaths, while you're squeezing your abdomen, your core with your butt up. And you master that. And by the time you're done mastering that, you're going to be on your way to losing toxic weight and gaining healing in your life, and your skin improving, your liver improving. So your organs all respond to the stretching too. It squeezes your kidneys. Consider your 2 kidneys like 2 sponges. So your lymph fluid, all the toxins that are causing psoriasis are getting kidneys, and your kidneys are the sponges that soak up the crap and let the fluid through so it can continue to circulate. Most people are struggling because their kidneys are in such poor health that they don't filter much of anything. So even when you start to detox, you can have trouble eliminating from all the effort you're making to help the cells dump waste, but you're not filtering well. And that can cause problems. That can cause symptoms to just move around, and you feel like, well, this diet's not working for me. It is, kind of. That's why I eat specific foods that are focused on specific organs, because all the organs need to heal, and they need to come to an optimal performance level. That's why electrolyte water is very good for the kidneys too. So it gets you to a point where you can filter really well, really quickly. But the healing practice, the healing is based in movement. So that is a massive part of it, just as important as diet, if not more important. And that the other pillar is sleep. Sleep is it's hard to pinpoint. It's hard to put your finger on why you're not sleeping well. It's a multi-dynamic process. Your body is in tune to lots of frequencies and lots of thoughts and lots of memories and lots of guilt, lots of anxiety, lots of fear, lots of shit coming from the world, especially right now. It never ends. The news cycle runs, shock around the clock from noon till noon, as Zach De La Roche said. It's on all the time and it never ends. This can all steal your sleep from you. And you need to regain sleep. It's a pillar. Not just 6 hours of sleep and you're good on running on 5 hours of sleep. This is about rest. Healing takes place in the rest. Your organs clean themselves out while you rest. Your liver cleans itself out while you sleep. It still works, and then it sleeps and takes a break for a little while before you get up. So sleep is a pillar, and we'll go over some specific strategies for sleeping better. But just off the top, reduce lights as the sun goes down. Sun goes down, reduce lights in your house. Don't sit in your living room watching your TV and also have, hospital floodlights on that are just bleaching your eyeballs with white light. It's going to keep you awake because your eyes don't differentiate between the blue sky and the light from the ceiling. So it still thinks it's daytime. You need to be coming down and getting into a restful state. So keep lights down, keep the volume down. If you have the TV on and there's commercials blasting and screaming at you, turn that stuff down or mute it. Get the volume down and reduce that. Maybe instead of white light, you can do some candles or get some low lights or red lights to get ready for sleep. Then of course, eating, diet is a pillar. So, I have specific foods that I eat. I focus on, I don't just eat more fruits and vegetables, and I don't sponsor or opt into any specific diet protocol, or whether it be AIP or any form of the multitude of forms of custom paleo diet or a vegan diet. I don't do any specific diet protocols. I focus on foods. Each food in and of itself is important. So, when you just focus on, well, I got to eat more fruits and vegetables, you're not giving enough credit to what this is. This is medicine. The apple is a power food. It's an absolute power food. And I know it's a fruit, and I know that fruit has sugar, and I know that sugar is avoided a lot, and we need to eat less sugar, and no sugar works, and fruit gets thrown into that. But it's not the same as processed sugar. It's just different. Fruit has a lot of attributes in it other than just its macronutrient, carbohydrate, sugar. But it has pectin, it has vitamin C, it has the full matrix. It's cleaning you out from your mouth to your bumhole. Apples really operate in the colon. The pectin in apples and the apple skin clean your colon out. And the better off that, the faster you can clean your colon out, then the better you can digest, the better you can eliminate, the better you can live. And now you can start healing and reversing these so-called autoimmune diseases, mystery chronic conditions, through eating specific foods, focusing on certain specific foods. All right. So for me, that's my diet approach, is food driven. Like each food gets the respect it deserves. So I try to eat an apple a day. Sometimes I have days where I eat 2 apples, or I'll have an apple and then I'll have some unsweetened organic applesauce. Applesauce is great for taking your supplements if you're taking supplements. Applesauce is great for that. Eat the apple on its own. I eat the whole core, most of the whole core. I don't eat the stick at the top. I don't eat the actual flower in the butt. But in the core, there's a lot of beneficial microbes. They just released a study on all the beneficial microbes they're finding in apples, and then specifically organic apples. But a lot of the bacteria live in the core, which we just throw the core away, and they live around the seeds. Now, I don't eat the seeds, but if I see the white flora, you see the white kind of fuzzy, fluffy stuff growing on the seeds, then I'll suck on the seeds a little bit and spit them out. But you'll see it on the core. It's the white, kind of flora-looking growth on the core of the apple. There's a lot of beneficial microbes in there, so I'll consume that too. But it's food-driven, so the apple is top on my list of foods to eat. Try to have 1 per day. So the apple. Second is wild blueberries. Frozen wild blueberries. You can get a big bag of frozen wild blueberries and put them in the freezer, and you can either dump them in a bowl and put a little bit of cinnamon on them, or something if you want. Let them thaw a little bit, and then just take a spoon to them. Eat a bowl of wild blueberries. They also are great in a smoothie. So I follow Anthony William, a medical medium. His protocols are who I follow the most, and his books have really saved my life. And his book, Life Changing Foods, is the most important book when it comes to diet that I've ever read and ever built into my protocol. If you go to my healing spreadsheet, I have basically a cliff notes to a lot of his literature and a lot of his most important foods. And that is what helps me the most. So when it comes to what to eat, how to treat myself, how to look at food, how to respect my progress and my practice, how to feel support from a higher power, how to feel support from angels and my ancestors, and how they ate, and feel connected to that. This is how I can eat too. This is what's good for a human diet in its whole form. When it comes to juicing, when I do celery juice in the morning, it's just celery. Now, you can juice anything green that you want. Cucumbers are excellent. Juicing broccoli, the broccoli stem, spinach, and any greens are fantastic in your juice. You can throw ginger in there to bring in like a tonic out of it. I focus on celery, and I do a whole batch of celery. I drink basically 32 ounces of celery juice any morning I can. I strive to do it every morning, or 5 mornings out of the 7-day week. That's a victory. And so juicing is something I do after my lemon water. So I have the lemon water. I do some my breath work and stretch while I'm getting the hydration going. So I'm getting both of those forces going, the force of air, the force of water going through my body. I'm stretching, I'm moving, I'm pumping, I'm loosening, getting the lymph system going. Then I usually go to the restroom really good right there after that. It's good. Have a pee, have a bowel movement, clean the body out, know the colon's working good, kidneys are filtering good. And then I go into a celery juice. Now it's time to clean the digestive organs. Now it's time to clean and power up and heal the stomach. It's time to clean out the liver. It's time to clean out the pancreas. It's time to clean out the gallbladder. It's time to clean out the small and large intestine. It's time to clean out the colon. That's the celery juice. It's just a magic tonic. It's an elixir for specifically cleaning and powering up your stomach. I just can't put into words how healthy and strong and powerful my stomach is. Before and during my first years having chronic psoriasis in my 20s, I was already taking medications for acid reflux disease. I was like 22 years old. And they had me on all kinds, medications for that, another medication, and, of course, Tums and all that. And when that healed, and it took years, and then when Anthony got me focused on just celery juice, it really amped up. Just a whole new level of vitality. I had 2.5, 3. I had 3 years of healing with other books I was reading, other doctors I follow, and influencers that I like that were working on their protocols, action based. And then I've had the last 5 years now of what with medical mediums books came out, and further refined and I just went back to the drawing board with what I had already been having success with, but still needed, I needed more. I was flailing around with supplements and spending a lot of money on that. And he brought me back to foods. He brought me into the world of fruit. Before that, I was avoiding fruit because of the sugar thing for 3 years, and I had plateaued because of that. And the body needed fruit to go deeper, and just my nervous system, my brain, my clarity, how good I feel, my energy levels, my sleep, my bowel movements, everything has improved so much since I've made fruit the pin, brought it into my life, and then started to add more. And so that's having grazing on fruit for the first 5 hours of my day. It's not like I eat nothing. I eat it all day, but from specifically the first 5-6 hours of my day in the morning, an apple, a wedge of cantaloupe, a handful of grapes, a handful of cherries, a bowl of wild blueberries or a wild blueberry smoothie with a banana and like a banana. I put an orange in there, and it's just. I feel amazing. I'm running long distances, running 5Ks. I never really did that before. And I always feel loose and vibrant. And I digest the rest of my food in the day very well. So fruit helps me with that. Enzymes, brings a lot of enzymes in, helps the digestive process, brings in the fiber you need. One of the most important micronutrients that it has is the full class of antioxidants or phytochemicals from the sun. This apple's sitting and growing in the sun all day and fighting off its own little infections that are trying to get into it. It's developing antibodies for that, and it's bringing in a lot of sunlight on its skin. So you get a lot of that phytochemical antioxidant from the fruits as well, and a lot of the sun's power in there too. That also goes for raw, unfiltered honey coming from wildflowers. Bees that were collecting millions of different wildflowers that we would never come into contact with if it weren't for them. And creating that honey, that raw, unfiltered honey, unprocessed, uncooked, is just wonderful for your body. That's one of my other power foods. Now, I know a lot of foods I talk about have sugar in them, but I'm beyond a level of being concerned about just the macronutrients. I respect and understand high fat and high protein approaches. I understand and respect the keto approach and ketosis. I get what that means. But I am focused mainly on eating foods that are knocking down the pathogens and helping my body eliminate the poisons that are driving this psoriasis, this chronic inflammation. So that's my main focus. That's why I focus on specific foods that help me do that specifically, instead of I'm not interested in sponsoring or adhering to a diet to its full extent. I borrow and add and customize and individualize, and you'll see yourself doing that too, and that's part of the warrior's path. But stick to it, man. When you feel it good and you're feeling the change, and sometimes you eat the food and it drives a breakout, and that's part of the process, and that food is just a powerful agent to get that process going. So you have to respect that process and understand that it's not, oh no, I ate this food and it's caused me to have an outbreak. It's like, well, maybe that food took you past a tipping point where you were plateauing, and now you're going deeper in. You have to remember that the skin helps in healing like it helps in the chronic condition. So it helps you, but the symptoms are similar or the same when your chronic symptoms or when you're healing constructively and your lymph system's functioning, you're having rashes and outbreaks and flares. Those are healing responses. So don't pull the plug and jump ship. Just captain the ship. Keep working on your manifesto and your map. But when you add stuff and it feels right, don't give up on it just because your mind is convincing you to give up on it. If the body's feeling good and the body's saying keep doing this, then stick with it. And don't just base it on the symptoms of psoriasis, because those are going to be volatile up and down. So fruit grazing is an important part for me. Now, other power foods that I focus on that might not be in your radar is first is spirulina. I use a spirulina powder from Vimergy, and I add that to smoothies, or I just sprinkle it on top of some cut up banana or cut up orange, or mix it in with some applesauce. That's a great way to take it. And I make sure I get that powder in daily. Spirulina is important for elimination, binding, elimination, deep cleansing of the liver, getting heavy metals out of the body, which is hard to do, and which is a reason why psoriasis is hard to heal from, because it's also driven by copper, and we get exposed to a lot of that. So we got to help the body try to eliminate that. Spirulina is really responsible for that kind of binding and elimination. And I also put barley grass juice powder in my smoothies or on top of fruit. It's a grass powder. Once again, same thing, bringing in massive amounts of phytochemical and enriching the body with a full spectrum of vitamins and nutrients. And it also helps bind and eliminate. So those are the two green powders I use, spirulina powder and a barley grass juice powder. And the seaweed that is a powerful food is Atlantic Dulse. It's Dulse. I ordered some of the organic Atlantic Dulse flakes. You can get them in different, you can get the whole seaweed leaf, or you can get it broken down into flakes. I like to get the flakes. They go easy on foods. I sprinkle them on salads and dinners, and I put them in my smoothie. I put them on, anytime I'm using the spirulina and the barley grass juice powder, I put the Dulse on there as well. I put it on my dog's food. I give it to her. It's bringing in important iodine, selenium, and zinc. And those are really, really important immune system drivers, especially zinc. I also put zinc sulfate in my water, liquid zinc sulfate. I add that to water. Zinc is we're not getting enough of it in our general basic diet, especially not enough when we're dealing with inflammatory conditions that we're trying to reduce and reverse. We need an excess amount of zinc to help those chemical reactions of the immune system, the white blood cells, drive on and help the body do its thing. Its healing thing. Remember, the body has the ability to heal. We are already healed. That's what the mystic would say. You are already healed. You just have to get there. The body has the innate mechanisms to do this. So we just have to fuel it, give it its time. The time is the mental construct, drives us nuts. How long do I got to do this thing before I get this thing done? How long? So stay focused on the aspect of give the body its time. Just give it time. Give it all the time it needs, as long as it takes, is what I respond to the how long question with. As long as it takes, as long as you're willing to stay in there and build conviction. That's how long. So Atlantic Dulse and spirulina and barley grass juice powder. I always try to eat an apple a day, wild blueberry, either in a bowl or in a smoothie. In the evenings, I typically start off with a salad, and I have a nice salad with a medley of veggies, cucumber, radishes, cilantro. I also put cilantro in the smoothie. Cilantro is important for binding to heavy metals, especially in the brain. Gets into the brain, helps eliminate mercury. And so cilantro is a power food. Have a salad at night. I put more wild blueberries on my salad. And get creative with dressings you want to try. Any citrus you want, you can squeeze that through your citrus squeezer. A little orange, a little lemon or lime. Any flavors you like for a dressing. You use a little olive oil if you want. I put shredded coconut. I put hemp seeds on my salad, and it's just getting a lot of different yummy nutrients. The radishes bring in sulfur. Cucumbers are excellent. Chopped up celery if you want. Onion and garlic. Onion and garlic are very important foods for killing pathogens and annihilating their byproduct. The pungent onion and garlic, when that gets inside your body, it just forces pathogens to move and get out. And when they move and get out, they expose themselves to the immune system and they can be killed off. Garlic is a very important food. Onion too. I do a lot of my light steaming and cooking with garlic and onion. And, if you're sauteing, it always tastes great. So raw garlic, chop up the raw garlic, let it sit for a few minutes and add that to your salads or put it in your guacamole. Guacamole is something else I make on a nightly basis. I can mix anything I need in there. The Atlantic Dulse can go in there. Turmeric Turmeric can go in there. Italian seasonings into the guacamole. Italian seasonings on the salad. Turmeric on the salad. Anti-inflammatory, anti-pathogenic. Rosemary, basil, thyme, oregano. Those are such vital herbs, and they make food taste so good. And they're widely available. You can get the fresh versions if you want, and the fresh thyme. You can make a thyme tea. You also get a chopped up, organic Italian seasonings, no salt added in. I put that on everything. So you make up a salad. For dinner, I keep it interesting. I enjoy a wide variety of foods. I eat meats sometimes. I eat complex starches. I eat organic sweet potatoes a lot. I also eat organic potatoes sometimes. I don't adhere to the nightshade free diet or anything like that. If you're eating French fries with ketchup, sure, that's an inflammatory food. If you're eating an organic raw tomato on a salad or organic steamed potatoes are very good antibacterial, antimicrobial. They help you knock out pathogens, which, like I said earlier, when you do that, you can have symptoms and you can think, oh no, potatoes make me flare. Potatoes help the body fight off infection, and when you kill off infection, there's a response, there's a reaction. It's called die-off response, and it can cause you to flare. It causes a lot of people to quit. It causes a lot of people to misblame foods when really the foods are helping you in a battle, and you're just taking the collateral damage. So mentally, we have to absorb that. So I don't eat a lot of nightshades just because tomatoes and potatoes aren't high on my list, but I do eat them, and I know that they're healthy for me. But organic, the real nightshades are pesticides. That's my belief, in my opinion. Those are nightshades, the stuff that's all over the skin of the potato as it sits in the earth and soaks up all that excess residue that drips down. It's sitting in the earth. Remember, the potato's in the dirt. Tomatoes are on the vine. They're being sprayed relentlessly. So you got to consider those nightshades as well, the ones you actually can't see. Well, you can see them as a residue. If you can see them as a residue, you got to really clean them. I'll use like a vinegar and a natural dish soap and filtered water. I put that into a spray bottle. I mix some dish soap, some vinegar, and I fill it up with filtered water. And that's my spray, my cleaning spray for everything. I shake that up. I spray down anything that I'm going to eat the skin. I spray it really good. I use a little scrubby. Scrub it, clean it, wash it, dry it, pat it dry, and reduce the exposure to pesticides and any of the herbicides and all the sprays on food, especially conventional foods. Yes, organic uses sprays too, but they have to go through a lot of accreditations and to use specific types of sprays. And they're rewarded for using less and for using more creative biopesticide and things of that nature. So you're buying into that when you buy organic. There is a difference. But for fruits or things where I don't eat the skin, I'll get conventional, and that's all that's available sometimes, like cantaloupe. It's all, they'll only have conventional cantaloupe or watermelon or lemons or oranges. Since I'm discarding the skin, I'll still wash it pretty good and scrub it. But I don't avoid foods because they're non-organic if that's all that's available and they're high on my list, like cantaloupe. So basic breakdown of my day, my diet is what I mentioned. I do my liquid regimen in the morning, and that is at this link. My morning routine is here. I'll typically have that wild blueberry smoothie at the end of the late morning or for my lunch. That gets my spirulina and the dulse and the barley grass powder, some cilantro in there, wild blueberries, an orange and a banana. That's usually like about a lunchtime. After lunch, I might have some dates, or I might, that's when I'll bring in some proteins and some fats as I go into the afternoon. Some guacamole after work, a salad, and then a balanced dinner. I'm not really driving healing foods into my dinner. That's when I like to eat my proteins and fats and satiate and feel good and slow down. So I like to have a mix on my plate. I like to have some broccoli or something green. I like to have something orange or red or colorful, like some sweet potatoes or red skin potatoes, and then I'll like to have, I'll eat meat sometimes, and chicken or this or that. I'm not, I'm not against eating meat. I'm not focused on meat as my healing foods, but I enjoy it, and I know my body does well on it. So sometimes I'll have that for dinner. But dinner is just a balanced meal. And the other thing is herbals. So I could have do another video focused on herbal teas. But I do make some herbal tea. I like coffee too. I do have coffee, like a cup of coffee in the morning. I do go some days without coffee. The other last most important healing food for now that might not be on your radar is chaga mushroom. So I get a chaga mushroom powder that I add into. So I have a water kettle in the morning back here, and I heat water for tea or coffee. And then I also use some of that water, pour it in a glass, and I take a tablespoon of chaga powder, chaga mushroom, CHAGA, chaga mushroom powder, and I put it in with the hot water and mix that around. And that actually makes a pretty delightful cup of coffee. It tastes very earthy. I add some raw unfiltered honey and some cinnamon to that, and I drink a cup of that first before I have maybe a cup of coffee or tea after that. But that chaga mushroom powder, I'll also add some of that powder to my smoothie, bring in a little more, or on my salad at night. It has a nice earthy flavor. And then I also have reishi mushroom powder, and I'm going to be bringing more and more mushrooms into my diet. Right now it's just chaga and reishi mainly, but I also want to start bringing in lion's mane and turkey tail, and those will be the next two that I start bringing in, and beyond. I'll keep going. Mushrooms are this incredible neurological healing power, as well as the other systems of the body, digestive. They are the digestive kingdom of the earth. They digest and recycle and regenerate and renew. And it's been too long since have brought mushrooms to the level I need to be at in my diet. So I'll share some of those links in the comments here for the record on some of these things I mentioned today. But much love, mad respect, more healing. That kind of goes over my routine, kind of goes over my diet approach. And I'll keep on refining this conversation and keep on making sure I kind of get this into a tutorial to follow. But yeah, have a lovely weekend, Warriors, and I will talk to you soon.